I gave a lactose intolerant customer dairy on purpose. I know this sounds weird, but when I worked at Starbucks, there was a regular customer that was very difficult and rude. I was warned of this customer on my first day of training. She came in every morning and would try to rush the workers on doing their job and makes other customers feel uncomfortable. 3 months into working, she came in one morning and caused absolute hell. She was complaining about her drink while one of my co-workers was making the drink. As soon as she got it, she accidentally spills it and asks for a completely different drink. I was so fed up. She wanted a frappuccino. She went to the bathroom while we were making the new order. I switched with my co-worker and made the drink. Instead of almond milk, I made the frappuccino with regular milk. The drink was ready by the time she left the bathroom. She takes the drink and takes a sip and didn't complain. 5 hours later, she calls the Starbucks from the hospital and I was the one who picked up. She got in a car accident trying to rush to a bathroom. She said she coconut her pants. I couldn't be any more happier that she was safe but got her karma. A true confession. Rule number 1 is you don't butternut with the people who make your food.
Rule number 2, don't cheesecake with the person who packs your parachute.
I'm confused as to why she called Starbucks about banana her pants. Only reason I can come up with is that she suspects you for putting dairy in her drink, in which case, you're in trouble, and probably shouldn't celebrate.
Because the story is fake and the psychopaths of Reddit hive mind eat this butternut up.
You have luck with this one, but don't zucchini do it again. You can kill people with it. As someone with a brother who has a dairy allergy that could kill him if he doesn't get to a hospital in time, this scares me and is really zucchini up. I held my boyfriend at gunpoint over an 8-hour period. I wanted to pull the trigger. I was not in a good mental spot. It wasn't some big epic fight that started it. We had a disagreement and I flipped. I didn't black out. I was fully aware of my actions. We were in a happy relationship, at that point 3 years in. I woke up one day and we had a little argument over something I don't even remember now. He tried walking away to let me cool off and I lost it. I grabbed my gun, told him we were going to talk. I loaded it and held him at gunpoint in our bedroom for about 8 hours. I had never been violent before, no warning signs etc. He talked me out of it and instead of calling the police he got me the help I needed through medical professionals. I was diagnosed with PTSD, social anxiety and depression, possible stemming from the PTSD. He was there for me every step of the way, and the guilt I feel will never go away from my actions. Life could have gone such a different way if I pulled the trigger. This was 10 years ago, and we are married and have 2 beautiful children. Looking at us now, no one would imagine what happened. We never told anyone, and he stood by me at my darkest moment. Mental health problems are real. Instead of locking me away and running for the hills, he helped me when I needed it the most. The resulting life we are living together is more than I could have ever imagined. Locking this as any useful conversation has already been run through. Yeah, that would have been a deal breaker for me.
Maybe a red flag or 2.
Now this right here is a confession. No one would blame him if he had walked away.
I judge him a bit for sticking it out. I could not imagine wanting to stay with someone that legitimately wanted me dead at some point.
I used to steal tons of food from my old job by pretending to be a customer ordering food and then calling 30 minutes later asking to cancel it. I used to work at this restaurant and the management there was just awful and the GM was just very verbally abusive. He always would complain about everything, and one thing specifically was how there would be 1 or 2 customers who would order food and then never show up. She ended up letting the servers and hosts eat the food. So it gave me an idea. One day she said something that really pissed me off. So I called my job and ordered a bunch of food under a different name, and then that customer would never show up. It made her livid and it gave me the bold idea of doing that whenever I want a lunch. I started to do it an hour or so before my break, and I would order whatever I felt like eating that day, and when they'd call and cancel I'd ask a supervisor if I could have the food and they'd say sure. I did this for the entire 3 years that I worked there 2 times a week, sometimes even 3. I didn't ever get caught, and I've even had a co coworker helped me by being the one to answer the phone. It was kinda funny and that place was awful, so I kinda deserved it. Edit, I should also add that this was a chain restaurant worth millions of dollars. I would never do something like this to a small or family-owned restaurant. Also, I know I'm wrong for stealing. I was 16 and was trying to piss off my GM for the time I was there. Butternut, dude. Kudos for you. The cost of food is so cheap, it's a shame restaurants don't give shift meals or super discounted ones at least. Most places I work did, but this one didn't. The owner owned like 4 restaurants, and I would just make myself sushi rolls at the end of the night or fried rice or something and take it home. The employees didn't care, we just had to be careful not to let the cameras see it. Edit, people disagreeing that the cost of food is so cheap. I'm talking about margins. For example, we sell a demon for $5.6, and the small amount we give costs less than $1. $8 spicy tuna roll probably costs less than $2 to make. Obviously, some things have smaller margins, but I was making fried rice, not filet mignon.
My boss always told me if we take away their shift meal we'll just make liars and thieves out of them.
I worked at an ice cream place that let us eat the mistakes. I accidentally made a raspberry fudge truffle sundae every time I worked.
I worked for my ex's dad and he had a small ice cream business. He didn't care what we ate or made. It was awesome. I also put on a decent bit of weight eating a patty melt and an ice cream cone 3x a week working there, haha.
/unethical life pro tips.
This is why a lot of places will throw everything out. It's not really a new idea to intentionally create extra food.
At Jimmy John's, if someone never came and picked up their sandwich, you think they'd let us eat it, right? Nope. You peel all of the meat off to reuse on another sandwich and throw the rest out.
When I worked at Jimmy John's we would have to throw the whole sandwich away. Nobody was allowed to eat the coconut thing. What a waste of a perfectly good sandwich.
I have worked at 10+ different restaurants and the differences between them were great. Corporate places are the stingiest. Outback you can only eat the bread for free. Red Lobster was free soup, salad and bread, then turned to just bread. Fuddruckers -50% off, but if the manager was cool, they would comp your meal. Breakfast chain Buy Me only free toast, now nothing free. The best places are the mom and pop shops. I've eaten free at those every night I work. Just tell the cooks what I want. Is definitely a perk that makes working there a bit more enjoyable.